Rivers State Sole Administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok-Ete Ekwe Ibas, retired, has summoned suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, Dr. Ngozi Ordu, to appear before him at the Government House in Port Harcourt. This was contained in a special announcement issued on Tuesday and signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Ibibia Warika disclosed that the summons forms part of an official inquiry into appointments made during the Fubara administration over the past 2 years. According to the statement, Fubara has been directed to present comprehensive documentation and records related to appointments made while in office. This includes, among other things, the rationale and procedures that guided those decisions. The full statement read: Rivers Government Special Announcement. The Sole Administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok-Ete Ekwe Ibas, CFR, retired, has formally summoned the suspended Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, and his deputy, Dr. Ngozi Ordu, to appear before him for an inquiry into the appointments made under their administration over the past 2 years. Sir Fubara is directed to present all relevant documents and records pertaining to appointments, including justifications and procedures followed during his tenure. The session will also serve as an opportunity for the suspended governor to provide a clear and detailed explanation as to why he believes he should be reinstated to office. Both parties are expected to appear in person as follows. Date: Friday, 18th April 2025. Time: 10 a.m. prompt. Venue: Conference Room, Rivers State, Government House, Port Harcourt. Attendance is mandatory. This process forms part of the sole administrator's ongoing efforts to restore transparency and accountability and lasting peace in the governance of Rivers State. Signed, Professor Ibibia Warika, State Secretary to the government. Let me start with you, Olome Godwin. What do you make of this development?
Well, I also heard this morning in the news that the administrator actually debunked, the government actually debunked this story.
Yeah, right.
So, in the first place, let's take it that it was actually true or a fact. And the question is, I want to ask, where does he derive such power to summoning a governor? And another thing is, when people say so administrator, I don't know the rationale behind it. The real name or title should be military administrator. If it were some civilian that was appointed, then we could be comfortable with the title of so administrator. He is a military administrator. We shouldn't shy away from these things. And in the first place, if he's going to summon the governor, a serving governor, those suspended unconstitutionally, illegitimately suspended, the Supreme Court had made it very clear that, in fact, it is even in the Constitution that there is nowhere, there are no provisions in the Constitution where a sitting governor will be suspended in such manner that he was done, and a sole administrator was being appointed by the presidency. These things are controversial, they are illegitimate and they are illegal. So he doesn't have that legitimate powers or that right to even summon a governor to come and prove or submit document or facts. Based on what? Was he elected? Was he elected? He doesn't have such powers. He lacks the legitimate powers or legitimacy to summon a sitting governor or a suspended governor to come and stand or appear before him. So I do not buy into such summon. But in any case, the government of the day or the temporary government of the day are certainly coming out of debunking this news. So I think that's what I've got to say.
All right, very well. As of now, I am yet to get any information. I'm even checking the portals of the Rivers State government debunking the news. As of now, that is yet to be made clear, and I'm yet to get that information. But then, what do you make of this story? Churchill.
Yeah. You see, it is very clear that what is happening in Rivers State today, that ordinarily, if it's to happen in any other states, it would have caused a lot of uproar, a lot of issue, a lot of problem that would have cost us a lot I mean, it will have cost the nation a lot. As it stands, I see Rivers people to be the most peaceful and I would say peaceful and law-abiding people among all the 36 states of this country. I think good for Rivers people. Because what has been happening in Rivers State, everybody will be looking at it that because they want to gain one thing or the other. But let us not forget that democracy was fought for years before it was achieved. I still can remember during my primary days when Nigeria was still, even in my secondary days, when Nigeria was still in the military rule. That is what Rivers State is facing now. And everybody is looking at it that it doesn't concern them because of one thing or the other they want to do. Ibas was appointed to hold the position of the governorship of Rivers State for the presidency. For the presidency. We have buried democracy in Nigeria, particularly in Rivers State. Nobody wants to talk because if you talk, you might be threatened of arrest or be arrested. But let us say the truth. I will say it without no fear. That democracy has been buried. That a sitting governor that was elected be suspended in office and nobody is talking. That the House of Assembly that was elected, suspended, nobody is talking. What is happening in Rivers State? That Ibas, an appointed administrator, has the opportunity and the rights to be sacking anybody he wishes, to be appointing anybody he wishes. Somebody from Cross River is now running the affairs of Rivers State, and nobody is talking because there is a clique that is enjoying it with him, including the presidency. Yes, Nigeria, we had our election, a democratic election, and some persons were elected by the people as follows the democracy. It's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And now, the same persons that were elected to take care of our legislative business in the state and that of the executive was suspended and nobody is talking, including the legislators. I've been waiting to hear the legislators say, no, it is not like this. I don't know the kind of constitution we are operating in Nigeria that persons can come and do anything on their own, quote any side of the constitution which is not in the constitution, and nobody talks. What is happening in Rivers State, it will affect the nation. I said within the shortest time, Nigeria will know what they have cost, what we have cost for ourselves. Because even in the international community, Nigeria is no more respected. Because we are operating democracy that is completely zero.
All right.
So what I am saying is that it's better for Ibas to debunk that statement, that invitation. Because if he didn't, I would suggest that the governor and his deputy do not go to any place.
All right, very well.
They shouldn't answer them.
Very well. Chris, what do you make of this story?
Well, thank you. First, I need to correct the impression made by my brother Olowe that the Ibas is a military administrator. He is not. Ibas has since left the military. He's a civilian. He's like any of us. So he is an administrator, not a military administrator. Again, no Rivers person will be happy to see that somebody from Cross River is running the affairs of our state. It's unfortunate that we are in a situation like this. But you cannot also rule out that we are part of the problem, what led to where we are today. First, on the summon, by the sole administrator to the suspended governor and his deputy. Well, for me, I don't see anything wrong with that, because from what the secretary to government of the secretary to the state government under the sole administrator said, is the sole administrator was appointed to restore peace, lasting peace in Rivers State. If asking the governor one or two things he did during his tenure will bring a lasting peace to Rivers State, I don't see there is anything wrong with that. So we should not preempt the outcome of that summon. Even if you said somebody said it has been refuted, but we are, like you said, you are yet to get to that. Assuming that someone is still subsisting, there is nothing wrong with that. The asking question to know what happened in order to build a lasting peace in the state is fine for me. Now, some persons have said there is no state of there is no is unconstitutional to have a sole administrator in the state. The constitution made it very clear that there is a position that provides for state of emergency in the constitution, which the National Assembly has gone further to rectify that position. So I don't know what we are saying until there is a competent court that will come out to say the appointment of the sole administrator in Rivers State is unconstitutional. Where we are today, there is no court that has pronounced that the sole administrator is unconstitutional as appointed by the president. Like I said, the National Assembly has went further to rectify that appointment. So where we are today, the sole administrator is in charge. Some persons have said he does not have power to do this, does not have power to do that. I don't know. When you say he does not have power, the constitution did not provide for this. Have you also told us that in so section, have anybody pointed any section barring the sole administrator from carrying out any function? That is not. The sole administrator has paid salary. Somebody was arguing with me the other day. Sole administrator, you see, he does not have power to appoint 3 sec, but he paid salary. He has power to pay salary because you're a beneficiary, and he has paid salary. You have to collect a salary. And let us start by you return the salary that they have paid to you to show that this person does not have the powers to pay salary. In as much as I know, he is, as of today, the governor of Rivers State. Every powers of the governor, the sole administrator has the power to carry out function, including appointment, investigation, sack, and all that. So nobody should tell us that it is not constitutional. Until when we are ready to make peace, the governor was also part of those who led to what we are today. Don't forget, the governor said on national TV that he has de-recognized members of the Rivers House Assembly. Does the governor have such power? But he said so. That was part of what led to the crisis in Rivers State, that the sole administrator have to come in. So nobody should exempt anybody. We all contributed to the problem we are facing today in the state. Today, but we are experiencing peace. I can't remember the last time we heard in the news that there is any friction. The sole administrator is in charge. And if you look at his appointment, it has been neutral. They have not seen anybody from any of the party that is part of his government. He has appointed those who are not partisan, the ordinary Rivers people, to run affair with him.
All right.
So I'm hopeful that the needed peace will come.
All right, very well. Hold on. I'm going to ask questions based on some of the concerns that you have raised. Now, I'll start with you, Olomi Godwin. Now, it appears that the reaction or your reaction is based on the office of the sole administrator, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. And now that we are in emergency rule, you agree with me that to a large extent, constitutionality and democracy is not operational in Rivers State, as it were, because it's an emergency rule, not a democratic rule. Now, moving forward, would you say that it is the office of the sole administrator or the office of the president? Is the sole administrator acting in his capacity or in the capacity of the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? And if he's acting in the capacity of the president, would you say that it is an overreach for him to summon the suspended governor?
Well, I do not think now in the first place, let's correct an impression.
Go ahead.
Constitutional lawyers have actually argued this whole saga out. When you say emergency rule, recall that under President Goodluck Jonathan, there were 3 states in the northeast that were under emergency rule, but the governor and the legislative were suspended. Emergency rule does not foreclose the presence of democratically elected governors or government. Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Because it is in the constitution. Even where there are emergency rule, it did not say that you dismantle a politically, democratically elected constitutional structure. And now, in the first place, how did we get here? It's come for crying out loud. We have states in this country that are bereading.
You're not answering the question.
I'm coming. Yes, because I have to look at it from the root. Do you understand? The constitutionality or otherwise, the legitimacy.
We are not discussing the constitutionality.
Yes, you ask if,
or otherwise.
If it's acting
what I am
in the present
asking,
capacity,
hold on.
isn't it?
I do not want us to deflect from the conversation. Now we are looking at the office that has summoned the suspended governor. Right. And in this instance, I asked you a clear question. The reaction has been on the person of Ibas.
Yes.
Right. Now, I am looking at the office that he is occupying and where he generated his powers from. Now, the suspended governor generated his powers from the mandate of the people.
Okay.
Through elections. The sole administrator's powers comes directly from the president. So he is representing the president in Rivers State. Correct? Now, that's why I'm asking you, if we are looking at the office of the person that summoned the suspended governor, would you say it's an overreach?
Of course, it's an overreach.
All right.
It's overreach. I still want to reiterate the fact that if you say it's the president, there should be an ambassador to a foreign country, to a foreign mission. As I'm concerned, a governor of a state, it is not a stooge or an appendage to the presidency. Are you with me? So if he was so appointed by the presidency, it doesn't make him president of Rivers State.
Can local government chairmen report to state governors?
Local government chairman?
Can they report to state governors? Can a state governor ask a local government chairman to tender certain reports to him? Particularly if there is crisis in his local government.
Yes.
Okay, that
you said local government chairman, not.
Hold on. We are looking at hierarchy in this instance, right? You said a local government chairman can answer to the state governor. The state governor can actually summon a local government chairman to give reports, particularly if there is crisis in his local government.
But in this case now, hold
on, gentlemen. Now, we are looking at, the question I am asking is not on the person of Ibas. I am looking at the powers upon which Ibas is acting on. Okay. That is the power of the presidency.
Now I want to ask.
Now, I am now asking, if Ibas is acting on the powers of the president, can he summon a suspended governor?
Okay, let me come to that.
Can he summon the suspended
governor? Let the president summon the suspended governor.
Hold on.
Let the president summon a suspended governor, not Ibas.
Can he summon the suspended governor to give account?
Let me come to that.
Go ahead, Churchill.
So far as I'm concerned, I know too well that Nigeria is a democratic country.
Yes.
And I know too well that we'll have the 3 arms of government. And that 3 arms of government has its own powers. They have their own powers. If there is anybody to summon a local government chairman, even if the governor wants to summon a local government chairman for accountability, it's through the assembly. He can't summon the local government. He does not have the powers to summon the local government one-on-one for accountability. It's through the assembly. Now, the problem is that I don't even know where we are going to. You cannot tell me that a legislative assembly, total legislative assembly of a state was suspended because of the crisis.
Churchill, are you aware that on my show, Churchill, you have defended the derecognizing of the 27 lawmakers by the suspended governor? You have defended it. So if he was okay with you for the suspended governor to run the state with a 3-man, the courts called them forum of friends, so I will use the language of the court. If it was okay with you for the suspended governor to run the state with a 3-man forum of friends and suspending an arm, because the governor derecognized. In fact, he didn't even suspend.
Okay,
he said they don't exist.
They don't exist.
Okay, you're saying the same
They don't exist.
No, let me come to
They don't exist.
Go ahead.
Let me come to that. See,
go ahead.
There was a legislative business. Whether they are 2, whether they are 3, there was a legislative business.
Okay.
And they were sitting. They were sitting just because there was crisis. The crisis was they totally defected, and the state saw it. And the governor said, no, this person was elected the same day with me, under this flag, under this umbrella. Why would they leave me? The governor with that.
Let me help you.
It's not your place to answer.
Let me tell you, there was a legislative business, even at that.
All right.
You understand?
Okay.
The governor was not working with that legislative assembly.
Okay, very well.
Now, if anybody should summon a governor, then let's the Senate summon him.
All right, very well.
I will not, if I am Fubara, His Excellency Fubara, I will not answer Ibas.
All right, very well.
I will not answer Ibas.
Hold on, still asking you for the questions, Churchill, before I give Chris the floor. The question I want to ask is this. Now, you are saying that the sole administrator cannot summon the suspended governor. Very well. Now, and we have established that the sole administrator is acting on the mandate of the president, not on his mandate. Now, that's on the other hand. Has the sitting governor, an incumbent ever in Rivers State, in the history of governance in Rivers State, ever summoned an ex-governor? Did Amechi ever summon Peter Odili? And did Wike ever summon Amechi?
No. Let me tell you.
Are you sure?
Let me tell you the issue.
Are you sure?
Let me tell you the issue.
No, hold on. No, I am not interested. I am not interested in the issue.
Yes.
Have there ever been summoned?
It was purely democratic government.
All right, very well.
And they summoned based on the democratic.
Did they even appear?
This man we are talking about now.
Did they appear?
Let me tell you, there are things we are forgotten.
All right.
Some persons play politics ordinarily and they don't understand the future repercussion of what is happening.
All right. All right.
The future repercussion is that, let's look at Nigerian constitution that stipulates that this particular order, if it will go, it must pass through to third majority of the legislative assembly, national assembly. And in our own Nigerian legislative national assembly,
very sad,
they refused to follow the rule. They went on voice votes. And
hold on.
They went
now
on
the
voice
issue.
votes.
Hold on. Church, you are completely deflecting from the conversation, and I
no. But there are so many things.
I know. Gentlemen, hold on.
You can't build something on nothing.
Gentlemen, hold on. I know that a lot of the emergency rule has a lot of perspectives to it, and we still have other stories to discuss on Rivers State emergency rule. So just slow down. Now, I find it quite interesting. Before I move over to Chris, I find it quite interesting that on one hand, right, both of you, Olonwe Godwin and Churchill, both of you are saying the governor is well within his rights to rule the state without a house of assembly. Hold on. Because the court over and over until the Supreme Court finally gave its judgment.
And that was what they
hold on. Can you not interject? Okay. Thank you. Now, the court has said over and over in all the judgments that followed up until Supreme Court that Martin Samehule remains the authentic speaker. River State House of Assembly remains River State House of Assembly. The governor chose to de-recognize, and he said it on national television. He said it when he was hosting the Ejo Youth Council, you know, when they paid a visit to him, I think with Seriake Diskin also. And he said it openly that he gave them a platform. In fact, let me use his words. He said, they are existing because I allowed them exist. I gave them a platform. They are floating because of me. Now, he said, these are boys I paid their children's school fees, I fed, I took care of. They are existing because I let them exist. And he went ahead to say he has to recognize them. And he acted in that capacity, even against subsequent court judgments. Now, it's okay for you, you know, to say it's okay for the governor to de-recognize these people. Constitution was suspended in River State in those years, in this number of years. And it was okay. But now, on the other hand, it's not okay. Now, very quickly, finally, before I go, I'm saying it because I am picking from your statement.
No, I was thinking I'm going to give you.
I'll still come back. I'll still come back.
Just give me 1 minute.
But then, Chris, I'll still come back to you. 1 minute. Okay, what do you have to say? Then down.
Look at what we are saying is,
yeah,
the person you are talking about, the governor. The governor did never recognize the assembly. Right. After the ruling of the Supreme Court. He even subjected himself to walk down to the Legislative Assembly and they locked him outside with the same appropriation bill that he was asked to represent. And he said,
Did the governor say that he went with the appropriation?
Yes, he went with the appropriation.
Are you aware that the River State lawmakers reacted to that? Now, let me still... I didn't want us to deflect, but let me quickly clear that. Let me quickly clear that air before I go to Chris. Now, when the River State House of Assembly wrote to the governor, FedEx responded. They told their part of the story that they read it, called the House of Assembly at the gate of the government house, and they said it should be returned. Right now, when the River State government was reacting, they said they are responding to a purported notice that they saw on social media. Hold on, Churchill. And they said that they will not respond. The governor will not honor it because of they saw it on social media. However, now, when the purported visit that you talked about, the River State House of Assembly, on the other hand, came to also respond that the same social media, later that they said, River State House of, the governor said he will not honor that visit because the letter was seen on social media. They chose to also, within a few hours, send message to some of them on WhatsApp, social media, that the governor is on his way to. So, I mean, who goes to equity? Don't you think they should go with clean hands? But then, Obinuchi, this is your state. Now, I want to ask you a very quick question, Obinuchi. Now, I have asked both Churchill. Hold on, gentlemen. I have asked Churchill and Godwin questions around whose mandate the sole administrator is acting upon. So I want a very quick clarification from that before I move on to the next question.
Okay, now, because I've also heard your conversation with my brothers in the studio, that Ibas is acting on the mandate of the president. I don't think that is correct. Okay. Because, of course, the president appointed him, but that appointment was ratified by both chambers of the National Assembly. So he is acting on the mandate of the government of Nigeria, including the president and the National Assembly. So please don't exclude the National Assembly. Go ahead. And he's also acting in support of some Rivers people, even if others are not with him, because we want peace. And that's why we are supporting Ibas to bring a lasting peace to the state. So then when my brother made reference to what happened in Plateau State, where a state of emergency was declared and the governor was not removed, the situation in Plateau then and other northern states, that's not the same with what is happening in River State. In River State, the Supreme Court made it very clear. As you know, this is a democratic setting. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. The Supreme Court made it was very clear and declarative that there is no government in River State. It's very clear. We all saw the certified true copy of the judgment that there is no government in Rivers State. So when the president acted based on the ruling of the Supreme Court. So when people come and say it's illegal and the governor would not have been removed, there is no government in Rivers State. The Supreme Court says so. So the president acted based on that.
All right, very well. Now,
in politics, see, we need to differentiate between emotion and the law. People feel that, oh, this thing is, you need to follow the law. It's very clear. Those days when I was in university, my roommate told me, he used to define it. I didn't know the implication until recently I saw it in university. They will always tell them, when they come, you used to do like, you used to discuss it with us, that the emotion and law. I think is a course in the universe. Emotion and law, they are two different, two diverse things.
All right.
Oh, this thing is right. Fine, is right. What is the law saying? The governor said is the recognized assembly, and we use 3 members of the assembly to pass a budget. Nobody saw anything wrong with that, and the Supreme Court relied on that and said because for you to have a government, the government has. We were told even in elementary school that we have the executive, judiciary, and legislature. That is the structure of a democratic setting. When the governor unilaterally suspended one arm of government, then there is anarchy. The president acted based on, the Supreme Court was very clear. I took time to read the judgment of the Supreme Court. So the president acted in line with the law.
All right, very well. Now, having said that, I asked you a question on they are saying, Churchill and Godwin, they are saying that the sole administrator cannot summon the suspended governor. And I had asked the question, was Peter Odele ever summoned?
Yes,
by
he was.
Amechi?
Yes, he was. I have the record.
Was Amechi ever summoned by
yes.
UK? Now, the question I want to ask is, the governor is suspended. Yes, he has immunity, but that does not, foreclose him from being accountable, right? It doesn't foreclose him from being accountable to the people. Now, can the sole administrator, in the capacity that he is acting on, summon the suspended governor and deputy for...
I've also listened to the argument of my brothers in the studio. That the former governor, the acting governor, does not have power to someone. Of course, that's what he is.
So don't interject. Gentlemen, hold on. When you speak, even though he was not in agreement with what you were saying, he let you have the floor. So it's civility demands. No. Don't put words in his. Don't put words in his mouth.
It's okay. Let him go.
Civility demands that you let him speak. So now
we have an administrator who is acting in the capacity of the governor. That's why I said acting governor. He's the sole administrator. Let's come to that. But he's doing the work of the governor. So it was deliberate. So then, when Peter Odele served as the governor, Amechi set up a panel and invited Odele.
When Amechi was the governor?
Yes, when he came in as a governor.
All right.
Nobody saw anything wrong with that. When Amechi came into power, Wike also set up another panel.
When Wike came into power?
When he came into power, when Amechi left, to prove what Amechi did. So it is a standard. It's only during him that during the Fubara that has not summoned a former governor. It has been like a precedent in Rivers State. So if Ibas have decided to say, okay, like I said, please come as it stands today, the immunity of the suspended governor is also suspended. He does not have immunity as of today. Now, if Ibas said for us to have the lasting peace,
he's suspended doesn't mean that he does not have immunity. Let's get that clear. His immunity.
When somebody is suspended, everything, every privileges and immunity attached is also suspended. You can make your finding. As of today, the suspended governor does not have immunity because if you look at the security detail, it has also been withdrawn.
All right.
So
continue.
now, the sole administrator say he wants peace in line with his mandate, and if for any reason he want to ask question to help him to bring a lasting peace to Rivers State, I I don't see anything wrong. Now we have started another round of crisis. Don't appear before the sole administrator. Before you know, the sole administrator will have, some persons have already filed matter in court. And you know the meaning, that we are challenging the appointment of sole administrator. If the matter is in court, what that means is that the sole administrator will have to remain until that matter is exhausted. That's the implication. We have started filing matter in court. At the end of, and don't forget the brokers by the president. The president was very clear for the initial 6 months.
All right.
So those who are the supporters of government who has went to court to say this appointment is illegal, the court should void the appointment. Don't forget, you are adding more sorrow to the situation we have. Until that matter is exhausted, Ibas may have to continue.
All right, very
so
well.
If we want peace, we need to cooperate so that we will have a lasting peace. And at the end of 6 months, the governor will come back to continue his constitutional duty.
All right.
But when we make it complex, we may end up having more problem than we met it.
All right, very well. Chris, now I want to look at what exactly is the mandate of the sole administrator in Rivers State. And over time, when he has spoken, he has said over and over again, it is to restore order, peace, and accountability in Rivers State for governance to continue. Right now, how will order, peace, and accountability be restored? Without going, hold on, I am looking at everything from the prism of what is right and what is fair. Okay. How do we move ahead? Like, how do we have peace in Rivers State when, from the body language of the political actors, right, it appears that peace is not forthcoming? Now, how do we go ahead? Can Ibas restore peace, order, dignity for governance to continue without asking questions? And then how do you run a government without understanding the previous activities of your predecessor?
Okay. Now let me come to that.
Go ahead.
Restoring peace in Rivers State, cannot be done by external. We know the people.
Has the internal been able to achieve that?
That is the problem.
Now, what
is happening now is like putting fuel in a fire.
Okay.
A burning fire. You carry fuel and pour on it. It will flame up more. That is what is happening now. My brother Chris was saying that the appointments that the sole administrator is doing it on normal basis. I am a member of People's Democratic Party. I started GDI from the first day. I know 60% of the persons that were appointed. And I know that even the sole administrator in Ikwere local government is on that tune. So don't say, we know everybody that was appointed. They were clearly people coming from the other side.
Would you say that the appointment of Governor Fubara so far, hold on. Okay. Would you say that the appointment that Governor Fubara made so far, I mean, these appointees that the sole administrator is making? No. The appointees of Governor Fubara that the sole administrator sacked, would you say that these appointments were well within the law? Would you say those appointments were lawful and in line with the Constitution of Rivers State, with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Can you say that?
Okay. Let's come to the RISEC. I want to start with the RISEC. The RISEC was not done by Fubara.
It was done. The RISEC chairman was appointed by Wike.
By Wike.
Yes.
And the members. And they passed through the process. They went to the legislative assembly, the House of Assembly, and they were screened and given the appointment. And we should also know that they have duration. And their duration is how many years? Their duration is 4 years. So if at the end of Fubara's tenure, that they are supposed to leave and another person will be appointed. So terminating their appointment is another thing, deviating from the law. That is one. And again, let me just say it.
Do you know the mandate of RISEC?
The mandate of RISEC?
Yes.
The mandate of RISEC is to conduct election.
Very well. Is RISEC position elected or appointed?
Is appointed with
tenureship. Good, very well. Now, if you are appointed to do a particular job and at the end of the day, that job was not carried out in line with your mandate, would you say that the office that holds the power to appoint you can end that appointment?
The appointment is...
Can it be terminated by the office that appointed you?
By the office that appointed you?
Yes. Can it be terminated by the office that appointed you?
With a background, with a lawful background.
What I'm saying is, if you are appointed with a particular mandate and you do not deliver on that mandate,
okay,
and as a result, so much resources of the state was wasted, can the same office that appointed you terminate your appointment? You know, it's one thing to be elected and another thing to be appointed. Even at the federal level, there are appointments that have tenures.
Okay,
but those appointments as well, it is still at the prerogative or discretion of the president to terminate that appointment or not. Let's look at the NDAs and all that.
Okay.
Where would you say their appointments were legal and in line with what is prescribed in the Constitution?
At that particular moment, when
the appointments, the people that were sacked by the sole administrator, they were all legal appointments.
Yes.
They passed through the legal process.
When you are saying the legal process, they went to the chambers. They were screened.
By who?
The assembly.
The working assembly.
Who were the assembly? Who were the assembly?
Okay. See, Okojombo was the speaker of the assembly.
All right, very well. What did the Supreme Court what did the lower court, the appeal court, and the Supreme Court say about both Edisenehe Okojombo speakership and every law and every activities and legislative functions that was passed during that period?
The Supreme Court that took that decision.
Appeal Court also did.
But the Supreme Court took
Appeal Court also did, and Supreme Court upheld the decision of both the lower court and the appeal court.
That is the Apex Court.
So, in line with the Supreme Court judgment, would you say their appointment was legal?
In line with the Supreme Court judgment, at the delivering of the Supreme Court judgment, their appointments at that time, apart from that of the recycle.
You're not answering me.
No,
you say they are legal.
Now, I say at the delivering of the Supreme Court judgment, that is the termination of the appointments. The ones that are not legal.
I think we are missing something.
Hold on, Churchill. If you say at the point that Supreme Court gave that judgment, and that marks the termination of their appointment.
That is.
You just said it now.
That is for the ones that.
Hold on.
The ones that are not.
Churchill, we are saying this. We are saying the same thing. Keep research aside, the MDAs and all of that. You said at the moment the Supreme Court made that judgment, that is the termination of the appointment.
And waiting for the governor to write to
hold on. Now, the governor did not terminate their appointments like he quickly implemented that of the local government chairman and WISEC. The governor did not implement that, even when the Rivers State House of Assembly wrote to the governor for that. Rather, the commissioners went to court against the Rivers State House of Assembly in order for the court to protect them or insulate them from termination. And now there is a sole administrator that comes in and says, I will not work with the people that the Supreme Court called impostors in the government. I'm trying to understand the angle of your defense. I'm trying to make it make sense to me. Are you on one hand supporting illegality, and on the other hand, you are fighting what you also call illegality?
But you know what I am fighting is illegality.
I'm trying to understand, because you are saying that the sole administrator does not have the right to sack people the Supreme Court called impostors, right? That the governor failed to sack upon the Supreme Court judgment. But then, moving forward, allowing your statement before I move over to the next story.
You see, this whole thing, I want to take us back to 2006, when Michael Andoka, who later became a CJN of this country, ruled in a matter concerning the defection of the 14 out of 24 members of the Plateau State House of Assembly 2006.
All right.
Where the speaker and the deputy plus 12 others defected on the floor of the assembly, and the remaining 10 members. The matter proceeded to the Supreme Court, and the presiding justice then, Justice Michael Andoka, said that the defection of those members were not even supposed to come to the court, that the session, the relevant sessions in the Constitution that deals with that that the vacancy of their seats are operational by law, that it is automatic. This man, I'm giving you a name that later became CJ of the Federation, the highest law officer.
How does this relate to
I'm coming. I want to set a precedence.
We don't have much time.
Because
does not relate
you are
to
saying
the
now that all what Sim did were illegal by the Supreme Court. Are you aware that the matter of defection hasn't yet gotten to the Supreme Court? Are you aware?
All right, very well.
So these members they've obviously lost their seat. They've lost their seat. So they are non-existent.
All right, very well.